Speaking of exciting, today is actually the day that a lot of reviews are going up for Journey, a PSN title that has been really highly anticipated by a lot of us around the office, and actually played by some of us, including Tom McShay right here. And Carolyn Pettit is joining us as well. You have yet to play the game?
I have not played it. I've been excited about this game for a long time, and it was actually a game that I wanted as much as possible to avoid seeing because I wanted to experience for myself, but it's in our line of work, it's kind of hard to avoid exposure at times, so now it's just like, okay, it's here, I just want to see it. And
especially when we force you to come on the show and accompany us while Tom demos Journey.
Yes.
So this is the very beginning of the game. It gives you a little bit of instruction on how to move the camera. You can also use the right stick if you don't want to use the tilting.
So we just saw the 6-axis there. So you're using the thumbsticks?
I'm using the thumbsticks.
How much control over the camera do you have in the sense of panning it out and in? Is that something the game does on its own?
The game automatically zooms it in and out to give you. This is kind of a strange game to demo because it's basically like the experience more than anything else.
Well, I mean, just even looking at it, this is just a desolate landscape.
Yeah.
It already is evoking this incredible feeling of solitude and loneliness. Because you don't appear, this isn't like a scene from Uncharted 3, you're not like panting and delirious in the desert. You seem kind of okay, but you're still in the middle of a vast desert.
Yeah, I mean, it just creates this sense that it just stretches on, so far in all directions.
What's that thing? There's a thing. Oh, and you're kind of sliding now?
Yes.
Like those sand skiers?
So you don't. The controls are pretty limited. You can jump and slide and glide like you saw, and then you can chirp, which is it's kind of a communication without saying too much. You can interact a little bit with the world by chirping.
Okay.
This is a tough game to talk about, isn't it?
So because the game is a lot about discovery, and so you having completed the game, you want to hold stuff back, and we appreciate your restraints. So.
Wow, apparently I got off to an invisible wall that I didn't know existed.
We got to the title screen, which is just on top of this. And so this is developed by That Game Company, which previously developed other notably atmospheric games such as Flower and Flow.
Yep. This is their third game, all PlayStation exclusive. So I guess, I'm allowed to talk kind of, the review embargo's up so I can actually talk about things about it. Like this is like the most emotionally affecting game I've played since probably Braid. Though it's a little bit more diverse in way, like it just goes through a wide range of emotions, which might seem weird when you look at this and it's just like, oh, it's just desolate wasteland, but it's almost like Mario 64 freedom of flight and movement combined with Shadow of the Colossus's like stoicism and breath.
And I think just a
that is quite a combo.
And a sense of discovery too, because what initially to me appeared to be just an empty desert that stretched on forever, now we're seeing these kind of markers that indicate, we don't know what they are, what their origin is, why they're there, but there's obviously they were created by someone or something, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of look like graves.
Yeah, and so immediately I'm curious to discover more about them, more about this world, to explore.
Oh, you got some little scarf friends.
Yeah, I guess, as far as mechanics, gameplay mechanics, it's like when you see those little flying things, you kind of sing to them, and then they extend your scarf, and then you can soar a little bit. It seems it's weird just to describe a game like that, though.
What's all that then?
So I guess the point is that there is like a mountain in the distance, and you try to get there. Like that's kind of the untold, though, pretty clear objective. And then but you just kind of interact with the world and experience it. Though.
And it's nice to have it not pop up and say, "Get to the mountain."
Yeah.
Or explore the desert, because it's acknowledging that as a player, you are just going to do that anyway. You're going to explore, and your explorations are going to lead you onward. And it seems like through, what started as finding 2 or 3 little pillars in the top of a small dune has led you here. And it just is that level design as a way of encouraging you to go through, and a way of dictating the pace, as opposed to text telling you, or stronger indicators of, no, really, this is what you should be doing.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it still handholds in a way, but it does it with like musical cues and camera shifts as opposed to like text telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. So you're never lost, but you always feel like you're discovering it and you're empowered by it. It's really kind of brilliant.
It's pretty cool, and it's certainly something that a lot of other games do use visual cues and musical cues, and sometimes they're not necessarily something you even are conscious of because they're in there the way that it's designed. It doesn't draw attention to it. Yeah. This seems like it draws attention to it, but not in a.
It's not intrusive.
Yeah, not in a way that is like dictating.
It's natural. It's organic, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that's like the first. Is it the training area? God, it's weird to like use these gaming terms. It's the training area. Sure. This is a brief story cutscene
where you find out there's some shadowy things and the shadow of a mountain. Ooh, that's like some symbols.
Yeah, it's the tapestry that kind of paints your adventure for you to see, where you're going, where you've been.
Very cool. Now, we've been talking about chimes as a way to communicate, and so you've communicated with fluttering scarf thingies and with various elements of the environment, but Journey is not a single player solo experience all the way through.
No, I'm actually online right now. The way it works is you're online and you might run into another wanderer. And when you do, and I really hope we do, because that's why I'm online in the first place. If you do, there's no PSN ID, there's no chat, there's no way to communicate other than through the jumping and chirping tools you have. Mm-hmm. And it's really it's kind of incredible how you can communicate with these very simple tools.
Can the two of you aid each other? Like, are there things you can do that make your journey easier in some way?
If you're close together, you can make it so you can do the glide thing, because it keeps your scarf extended. But really, it's not the kind of game where like you need to, I'll jump on your shoulders or whatever to reach that area. It's not like that. Yeah. But it's interesting just because like you might jump up or you might start singing just to like call attention to yourself, so your companion will join you, and it's.
If they want to, or they might just ignore you. I
suppose.
And
when they ignore you, and if they walk away, you feel really like lonely. Like it's devastating because that's all you have in the whole world.
Yes.
So this is the next area. The goal is you have to find like these scarves, the tall scarves you see sticking out there.
Because then you can.
They indicate
light
where
them up a little bit.
The scarf
It looks like you didn't light that one up all the way.
Oh. Yeah, so you light it up all the way, but and it does it really.
That's pretty.
It does a good job of explaining what you have to do without being overt. It's just the first thing you see. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. So it really plays into just this psychological aspect, the human nature of discovery and curiosity. Like that's kind of how the game is built. So it's just the level design it looks like it's kind of just sparse, but it's really intelligent in the way it's designed and everything is placed. There's a purpose to everything. And it's really gorgeous.
It's really pretty.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like, I want to go quiet for a second, just look at this.
The shifting of the sand is just, it seems so natural and yet so sort of like painterly or otherworldly.
Because it's not a realistic sand, but it recalls what sand is like. But it has its artistic. Oh my god, this game! It's like I can barely even speak about this game. I was just like playing this Tuesday night in my apartment, and I was just like completely overcome with emotion. So trying to explain that here is it's difficult.
It's a little tricky, yeah, but I think people are getting a glimpse. I don't know, folks, what do you think? Let us know in the chat, in the comments. Does this look like the kind of game experience that intrigues you? Does it look a little bit
you're just kind of wandering around in the desert. I don't know. It looks a little boring. Like, where do you fall on the spectrum of a game like this that, you know, if you've been following, you know, since E3 last year and the preview coverage we've been able to do on this game, it's been a recurring theme throughout that it's not something you really can describe too easily using the kind of vocabulary you can use to describe 80% of games that you encounter or that we would have on the show. You know, it's something that strays further from an established genre or established gameplay mechanics and stuff like that.
I saw one, I read some reviews today, and someone compared it to Passage, which is an indie game by, I think, Jason Rohr is his name?
Yes, yeah.
And it's a game where you literally walk from left to right and do nothing else, but as you walk, you age and you...
Yeah, that game I played just once. It's a very short game. It lasts like 5 or 6 minutes, and it devastated me emotionally.
Yeah.
It sums up, you know, life in brief. I mean, you have a companion for a while, you know, sort of symbolizing maybe marriage, and then eventually that person perishes and you perish, and
but that's
such is life.
This game is similar to that. I mean, it's a lot more gamey. I mean, this is still a game at its heart. It's not just like a work of art, but it has similar themes of
sort of companionship and lone, you know, being in solitude.
Yeah.
And struggle.
There are actually collectibles too. As a gaming thing, you can see off in the distance there's that shining light, and there's like 10 or so of these sprinkled throughout the game. So they give you like a reason to explore if the beauty isn't enough.
If just wandering through the environment and looking at these distant broken bridges and shifting sands and saying, "Yowza, this game is gorgeous," isn't enough.
Yeah, it's a game. It's like it takes I don't know, 50 like 90 minutes to play through, and it's like, and that sounds short, but it's almost like a movie where you want to see it through to the end, so you want to do it in one sitting, or at least you equals me in that. So I liked that it was short, and then I just want to revisit the world afterwards. But it's
that sort of game in one sitting thing is something that I think Jane Douglas was talking about, and her review is going to be posting on site shortly, so you folks can see more about Journey, find out what our verdict is on this game, and hopefully go and play it for yourself. But that's going to be a few weeks, right, in the United States?
March 13th.
March 13th, so just under 2 weeks from now, you'll be able to download Journey from PSN or SEN, is that what we call it?
We'll call it SEN, I guess.
SEN, Sony Entertainment Network. Cool. Well, Tom, thanks for the look. Thank you for your restraint in which you did a good job sort of managing to communicate about the game, but not spoil the stuff, the discoveries to come.